everyone, and welcome to another edition of Almost Martha. And today we are going to do something a little interesting. I've got a busy few days, so I want to get something together so I can have the basis of several meals going on that I don't have to think much about. So today we're going to make some pulled pork right in our slow cooker, so it'll be nice and easy. It'll cook all day. When I get back tonight, it'll be ready and good to eat. And so I bought a pork shoulder. It's a little bigger than I thought, but I was looking for like 5 to 6 pounds. This is a big 7-pounder, so I'm glad I have a big crock pot, but you can do it with multiple sizes, of course, of pork shoulder. Pork shoulder is what they use in a lot of Southern barbecue. Is good stuff. So hold on, and we're going to do a little pulled pork right in our crock pot that anybody can do at home. Okay. Let's do it. Okay, this is going to be so easy. So I'm just going to spray my pot with some Pam. So that's all covered. And I'm just going to slice some onions. You don't have to chop them. You don't have to do that much work to them. You just want to remove all of the outer, paper-like skin, right? So we're just going to put the inner rings and just sort of drop them in the crock pot. We're going to do 2 onions like that. And this is what the pork shoulder is going to rest on as it cooks. So all of that lovely onion flavor will go in. Ooh, in the fall, I'm going to make Anthony Bourdain's beef bourguignon. His dish is really kind of amazing. It calls for so many onions. It's unbelievable. But those onions, after you cook them for a long time, you braise them with all the meat and the liquid, those onions just kind of disintegrate and become part of the sauce. It's really quite amazing. So I'm going to make that in the fall. But right now, we're going to use our onions in our slow cooker to season our pork shoulder. And they will, kind of rest that pork shoulder on there. Gosh, I hope it all fits. Lordy, that thing is so big. So big. Well, if I have to trim it, I have to trim it. Ooh, whack-a-doodle, whack-a-doodle-doo. Ooh, that onion got me. Whack-a-doodle-doodle-doo. Okay. All right. Okay, so got our onions in the crock pot. And now I'm gonna take my pork shoulder. I'm gonna open this bag up. It's gonna be kind of juicy. Very juicy. Why I have a piece of parchment down. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna take this juice. I'm gonna dispose of it very carefully. I'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, there's a lot of fat on this baby. I don't mind some fat in here, but I do mind gigantic globs of fat. So I'm just gonna trim some of this fat a little bit. If I'd gotten this directly from the butcher, I could have had him do it, but I got it in the butcher case. It was already put together. But if you go to your local grocery and they have a butcher shop, they can do some of this trimming for you. But in either case, see, that's a big glob of fat. That would be very hard to render down. So we're just going to trim some of this fat off. It'll also make it fit in my crock pot much better. So that's a bonus there. Stubborn fat. Stubborn fat. Don't we all have some stubborn fat? Yeah, I know I do. I do. Stubborn. Okay. All right. So I got a lot of that. Got a lot of that off. Now you can make your homemade rub. You can go buy a good rub. Either way, it's going to be great. So I have some rub called Carolina's Rub from Stonewall Kitchen. I love Stonewall Kitchen. I love their stuff. So we're going to use this rub today. Carolina rub, that makes me think of North Carolina, right? They have great barbecue in North Carolina. They use a different kind of barbecue sauce there. It's more vinegar based than tomato based. But man, they got some good barbecue. Good barbecue in Tennessee, good barbecue in Alabama, good barbecue in Kansas City, Missouri. Yeah, I like barbecue. I like barbecue. It's good and good for you. Of course, not really. Okay, so I'm just gonna salt this baby. I'm gonna rub some of this rub in. Okay, I'm gonna flip it over. Oh, that looks pretty. That looks pretty. Get some rub. Rub that in. Rub that in. Nice and moist. You know, cooking's messy. It's a messy business. You put your fingers on things and do things might not normally do. So, rub, rub, rub. Okay. Well, that is all good. Get it all over. Want it nice and seasoned. Okay. All right, last I'm gonna salt this baby. And now I'm gonna try and place it on top of these onions, and let's hope it fits. It's a heavy thing. It's a heavy thing. All right, well, there it goes. There it goes. Lovely, lovely. Perfect, perfect. In it goes. All right. Do a little cleanup here. Clean up on aisle 6. So now, the last thing we're going to do, we have to add liquid, right? Or it's not gonna cook properly. So we're going to add about 2 cups of chicken stock. This is about 4 cups in here, but their recipe says 2 cups, but they also were using a smaller roast, so I may just use about 3 cups. This is going to be good. I'm about here. A little more. It's got to have moisture if it's going to cook. A little more. Trying to bring the moisture up to the roast a little bit. Okay. So that is about 3 cups. And now I'm just going to cover it. And I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to put it on high just to get it up to temperature. And then when it really starts cooking away, I'll take it down to medium. And I'm going to just let it sit for 8 hours and cook this baby down. You can look in upon it, occasionally, but every time you take this lid off, it loses the correct temperature and it takes a while to come back up. So it might delay the cooking process. However, if you look in there, you see that you don't have enough liquid or nothing's really happening like that, then you need to add some more liquid. You don't want it to be dry and, crusty on the bottom. But you want those onions to really cook. And the onions are at the bottom, so the roast won't be sitting on the bottom. I think it's going to be perfectly fine just to let it cruise all day long. And then later, we'll have terrific barbecue for dinner. Get some coleslaw. Oh yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. All right, I'll check in with you in about 8 hours. Okay. Hey everybody. So, man, I'm tired. I've been gone all day long. So very tired. Been a crazy day. And now I come home and, man, this thing is ready. There's lots of jus here. And it's probably gonna fall apart as I'm bringing it out, but that's okay. Yeah, it sure is. It sure is. That's okay. That just means it's good. Ooh. All right. Come on. Oh yeah, fall off the bone goodness. That's what I'm seeing. Woo. Annie's on the ground. She's about to have a hissy fit over here. What you got up there, mother? What have you got? Because it sure smells good. So I did reserve some of the liquid because there's a recipe that I'm gonna make that asks for it. So, okay. So the rest just looks like onions and broth. I'm gonna take some of these onions that came in out. Okay. And now we kind of get to do the fun part. Because the fun part is shredding this baby up. And I got my bear claws. So when we say pulled pork, that's what we're talking about. And it's sort of best to do this when it's warm, as when it's nice and cool, it's a bit harder to do. So just shred it up, but not too shredded. You don't want it like minced. You just want it kind of shredded. Think about your pulled pork sandwich and what you want that pork, to look like. Because that's probably going to be the first thing that I do is just a pulled pork sandwich. Nice bone there. But you can't have, Miss Annie. That bone's bigger than you are. Can't have that. Okay. Pull, 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 pull. Pull pork! Pull, pull! pull apart, pull apart. Okay. Well, it didn't take a whole lot of pulling, did it? Because it was nice and tender and Okay. Well, I haven't tasted it yet, so I'm just gonna take a little piece here. Oh yeah, it's good. It's seasoned, but it's not too seasoned. Oh yeah. That's really good. And if you remember, I made I used a North Carolina rub on it. So tomorrow, I'm gonna make a little North Carolina barbecue sauce that we can put on this. All right. So that's 7 pounds. And that's a lot of pulled pork. You can have a lot of friends over and enjoy this pulled pork. And we're going to use it to make a few things. But it's so good. So good and super easy. Super easy. Didn't take any work at all. I know it's good when we do it on the green egg and all that stuff is good, but man, this is pretty good too. So, okay. I'll check in with you tomorrow as we make the barbecue sauce. Good. Okay, so last night we pulled our pork and it's in the refrigerator. We're gonna have that for dinner tonight. Now I'm just gonna whip up a quick little barbecue sauce. And we talked about the North Carolina barbecue sauce, right? So that's what we're gonna make. And we're gonna start with 2 cups of apple cider vinegar, the best vinegar. I have 2 tablespoons of, normally you put brown sugar, but I'm trying to be better, so we're going to do sugar in the raw. So I have 2 tablespoons of sugar in the raw. I have 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper, and that goes in. I have 1 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and that goes in. I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of Tabasco. It's going to be a little spicy. So we've got pepper, we've got red pepper flakes. Now we're going to do some Tabasco. So this is that good vinegary, barbecue sauce. All right, there you go. Tabasco. And now I'm going to add a half teaspoon of cayenne pepper. If you have like the extra hot Tabasco or hot sauce, you might could just use that and be fine. Heat is very personal. Heat is very personal in all of these things. So you can decide how much heat that you want. Now we're just going to add some ketchup, 2 tablespoons of ketchup. I'm going to trust myself to add the right amount of ketchup. So I'm not going to mess up that tablespoon of ketchup. All right, there we go. I trust. That's 2 tablespoons. So now I'm just going to put this on the stove, and I want to cook it, for about 2 to 3 minutes. I'm really just melting that sugar, right? That's all I'm trying to do. And of course, get the flavors to kind of meld together. So you just put this on the stove for 2 to 3 minutes, take it off. You can use it right away, or you could give it some time to let the flavors all come together. So it'll be good by tonight. It'll be very tasty. It'll be even tastier tomorrow and the day before that. So, give it some time. But if you're trying to do something quick, cooking on the stove kind of, speeds up the process a little bit. So that'll work fine too. And then of course you'll have some left over. You'll have it the next day. It's always like, lasagna is so much better the next day and all that. Same kind of thing. Gives time to all of those flavors to work together. So I'm just gonna do this for 2 to 3 minutes. Then I'm gonna let it cool, and I'll put it in a jar and put it in the refrigerator. And then tonight, before we make our sandwich, then we're gonna heat it back up just a little bit. See you later. Okay, everybody, it's time. So I took just a little bit of that barbecue, and I kind of steamed it in the oven to get it nice and warm. It doesn't have to be hot, but nice and warm. Looks like I got it kind of hot. And I had a nice, beautiful bun, which I toasted. I did spread a little bit of butter on there because, not. So this is how we build these sandwiches in the South. We're going to pile up on the bottom of our bun, not the top. We're going to pile up some barbecue. And I made sure that there's enough, warmed for seconds, because there may be seconds. So I'm going to be prepared. And pile this up. Yeah, Annie likes the smell of barbecue. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. There you go, Annie. Knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. Okay. So, when you go have barbecue in a barbecue joint, they're going to pile it up nice and good. So they can charge you a lot of money for it because it's going to look nice and full. Okay. Good. Now, my barbecue sauce we made this morning, it really came up to here, but I gave some of it away already. So this was like an old marinara jar. Maybe it was a pickle jar, actually. It just fit it perfectly. So now I'm going to spread with this nice vinegary barbecue sauce on here. It's a little tangy, so, it's not super hot, but it's got a kick. So the next thing you do is you add a little topper of coleslaw. That's right, coleslaw. We're going to put some right on top of that sandwich. You know how you put lettuce on top of a sandwich? Well, with barbecue, you put a little coleslaw. So a little bit of coleslaw. This too is a very lightly dressed coleslaw. You can use a vinegar-based coleslaw as well. You can use a mayonnaise-based too, whatever you prefer. This goes right on the bun. And then you can serve some coleslaw on the side, because people like a lot of coleslaw when they have barbecue. Okay. Then the next thing, it's a humdinger of a sandwich, isn't it? The next thing, I'm just going to get a clean fork, is a pickle. These are the best pickles ever. These are made in Alabama, and they are called Wickles pickles. And I love them. I've got, these are like the original. You can get them in like dirty dill chips, make a relish. They also make like a red pepper sauce to go on sandwiches. So you just put some pickles on that sandwich and then add your bun. Super delicious. Super delicious. Hold on. Super good. Super good. Okay. I'm going to take a bite and let you know how it goes. Oh man, it's so good. Mm. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about right there. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. Really good. Getting a little bit of that heat. You can add as much sauce as you like. All so good. It's not good for you, but it's so good. So a little pulled pork sandwich, just in case we need a little extra. And we're going to make some other dishes with that pulled pork, so stay tuned for that. Hi, Mom. I wish I could share this barbecue with you. So if you want this recipe, go to almost-martha.com. You can find this along with all my other recipes. But this is a winner. And you saw how super easy it is. So this is a great summertime sandwich. People will love it. It's pretty much hands-off cooking with your slow cooker and all that good stuff. So enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Have some pulled pork, and we're going to have more fun with that too. So I'll see you next time right here on Almost Martha. Okay, it's dinner time. Hey, Miss Annie, one more for you.